How to write better contracts. I've been a business lawyer for a long time now, and I've written a lot of contracts over the years. But I have some tips and tricks for you, the business owner, that's who I assume is watching this, to help you get better in the contract process. Now, you probably should be working with a lawyer, particularly if the contract's of any significance, but it doesn't mean that you can't be part of the process, and possibly you could even advance the ball to get a good draft put together before you even talk to a lawyer. This is possible to do internally. So how do we write better contracts? Well, we need to understand the business first, and that really is the key. A lot of people will go grab a form off the internet, look for a document. They'll want a contract about this or that. They'll go grab something that somebody else did. They want a real estate contract. They go grab a real estate contract from somebody else. There could be some real issues with that. The one thing you need to remember is that every contract that you find on the internet or that you find that somebody else entered into was probably negotiated at some point. Even the forms are generally negotiated in somebody's favor, whether it be the borrower, whether it be the lender, whether it be the owner of the property it's selling or the buyer of the property, right? Everything's got thoughts embedded in there. And unless you're a lawyer who's been experienced with those things, you may not know where those negotiation points are. What you really want to do is start with where your business is and think about that. Now, if you're going to use documents that you find on the internet or around, you want to look at multiple documents because you want to see what's good and bad. You need to think about the what-if scenarios. What if things go wrong? And that's what I spend a lot of time on as a lawyer is I'm analyzing what happens if something goes good, what happens if something goes bad. How do I move this forward? What happens if we end up in litigation? What does that look like? How would we collect if the other side doesn't pay? What would happen to us if we made a technical mistake? Do we have time to cure? Can we fix things? These are the types of things we're looking for. But for most businesses that are using a contract repetitively, let's say that it's your standard customer contract, you may have state law limitations on what you can do in a consumer contract. You'll have to look at that. But once that contract's written and agreed to, what you'll start finding is over time, there may be particular issues that come up again and again and again, right? There may be points that your customers don't like that cost you a sale that maybe you need to back off of. Maybe there are particular issues that keep coming up again and again in the service process, right? Something that the customers don't understand. They get upset about later, right? And we talk about front-loading these issues. We'd prefer to deal with issues up front rather than later. But if we keep seeing an issue coming up, it's a great indication to go back and revise our contract. So really one of the keys to good contract writing is understanding your business, understanding your sticking points, understanding who you're trying to protect, which is presumably you. You want to protect yourself without getting too overbearing on the other party. And you bring all of that together into a good written contract. Your lawyer, if you're working with one, should have forms, should have agreements they can work with. That will move you a long way ahead. So start understanding your business better. Make notes on what you really want from the contract. Meet with that lawyer and get something great drafted. If you have general questions or comments or suggestions for future videos, you can drop them below. Don't put anything confidential there because other people can see your comments. For confidential communications, reach out to your attorney of your choosing. I'm glad you're here. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Go check out our library of past videos. And by subscribing, you'll get notices of our future videos. Thanks for tuning in today, folks.